Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today it's time to have a look at the PC New Year sale for War Thunder. It seems like Gaijin have released a bunch of bundles and also some other packs at a discounted price. Now these packs are very similar to the ones that we've seen in the last few sales, but at least you know it is something on top of the discounts when it comes to the premium time and also to other stuff that we've seen over the Christmas period. I just want to let you know that I am kind of ill today, so therefore if I sound a little bit off or if something sounds a little weird, that's why, and hopefully I improve as the week goes on. So, the New Year's sale, as we talked about, constantly just a bunch of bundles, and the main thing to understand is these bundles all have two of the same things: a top tier premium or a top ranked premium when it comes to ground, and also a helicopter alongside of it. There is no real other stuff when it comes to naval, apart from in the individual bundles that you can see down here, and it seems like the main focus of these ideas are just to get some top tier helicopters around, and also, you know, being able to take this stuff into high tier ground realistic. The other thing to also mention is if you want to purchase one of these bundles but you already have something in it, such as let's say you want to buy the US Winter's Holiday bundle right here, and you already have the XM1 General Motors pack, then you will get this at an even more discounted price because you already have the pack. So you would take away how much that pack is, so you're pretty much paying, you know, an even better, more efficient price for these three items. So that's the way to look at it. If I was going to give my general opinion, I'm kind of disappointed when it comes to the New Year sale. I thought there would be a little bit more when it comes to different vehicles, but then again, if I compare it to last year's sale, which I do have the spreadsheet for, it's actually a better deal because last year they lumped a bunch of different stuff together and all of the bundles were $75 instead of $50. So what they did was they just added another pack on top of what you see this year. So I would actually say it's better value for money this year, and it's also cheaper for the general person. So therefore, if we compare it to last year's Christmas sales, it's good. If we compare it to, you know, what I would like it to be, it's slightly worse. And the other thing as well is, I don't know why they only have the Japanese Pacific campaign on sale. I don't know why they haven't decided to put the US one on sale. It seems kind of odd. And also, they are removing some packs from sale after the fact, after the sale is concluded. So this might be the last chance that you have access to these packs. The Hind pack, the Type 5 Hurry pack, the B0105CB2 pack, the Carl Golster, and the Huey Hog. And it's very obvious why they're taking out these packs, or the helicopter packs. There are now just better premiums to get. Obviously, the Huey Hog is a slightly different story, but we know that there's going to be a premium Apache coming. The Carl Golster, I mean, the Eugen exists, and the Type 5 Hurry pack, well, guess what? The Type 74G is coming and knocking. So yeah, another thing as well is you can get yourself a little decal called the New Year Snail, and users with all snow globe decals collected will receive this unique decal. Now, how do you get the snow globes? Well, you can see that each of these packs has a snow globe attached to it. They're all slightly different. This is the British one. They are really well made. I would say that the decal themselves is really nice, but understand it is just a decal, so therefore it doesn't factor into at least my pricing. And so if you have, you know, all of these, you are able to get yourself this New Year Snail. Also, packs included in these special bundles can also be purchased separately with a 30% discount. So let's say you just want the XM1 pack right here and nothing else, you can see it is discounted at a 30% level. If you want to get them overall, though, it is a 50% level. So yeah, if you don't want to get the helicopter, you just want something like an XM1, it is discounted. But look, it is only $8 less than getting it alongside the Huey Hog. So it just seems kind of pointless getting individual packs when instead you can just get two packs for $8 more in a lot of cases. So if you're thinking about only getting an individual pack instead of the bundles are much more efficient when it comes to money and stuff like that. So therefore, make sure to check them out first. The other thing as well is not all of these are the same price. You can see that some of these are $50, others are $55, and others are $52. And remember, this is in US currency that we're looking at it today. If you also want to see the Excel spreadsheet that I create for each of these sales, there will be a link in the description to it, so you can see what is on screen here, and you can see it in a larger way. So this is pretty much a breakdown of what you get out of the packs. Every pack comes with 4,000, or sorry, I should say every bundle that is on offer comes with 4,000 GE and 30 days of premium time. So that should be enough GE for a decent premium vehicle if you want it, and also a month's worth of premium. You also get 2 vehicles, and depending on which country that you pick, the 2 vehicles are always going to be pretty much high tier ones, but some are much better than others. So let's go through them. The US Winter Holidays pack, you get the Huey and the XM1. This is the XM1 GM. It costs you $50. This means that overall, when we have a look over here, each vehicle is worth about $7.40. The G itself is worth $24, and the premium time is worth around about $11. So with $7.40 for a Huey and an XM1, remember, there is going to be a better helicopter coming for the US pretty soon when it comes to a premium helicopter, probably in a few months' time. The XM1 also just got put up in BR to 9.3, but the XM1 is a really good vehicle, and so is the Huey. Just gets outmatched by a lot of the other premiums that have been added recently. So $7.40 for that pack. The Soviet one is a little bit more expensive at $55, and I think the reason for this is because of the Black Shark. The Ka-50, if you don't know what it is a monster in helicopter terms. It has 80 ATGMs, which have the longest range out of any helicopter in the form of its ATGMs, which can fire 10 kilometers. It also gets access to iglas. The only downside to the Ka-50, I suppose, is it's quite a large target, and also it only has a single pilot, so therefore it's kind of easy to knock out. But the fact is, it will always kill you before you can kill it. It also doesn't have access to thermals, and for a top tier helicopter, you kind of need access to thermals. But you still have night vision and also the wonderful tracking systems and the point and click kill systems that all of the helicopters at the highest level have. So, it doesn't affect you too much. The Ka-50 is a monster of the air, which is why, this pack is at $55 instead of $50. That means that each vehicle is $9.90. I personally don't think the T55AM is worth it, but if you want to get the Ka-50, this would be the pack to go for, so you can have something to run it with. You can also use that GE to, do something with. The next pack is the A1A1L44 and the BO105CB2. It's $50 overall, and that means each vehicle is $7.50. So far, out of these three packs, there is definitely a weak link in each of them. So the Huey for the US, for the USSR, the T55AM, it doesn't match up well against a lot of its compatriots at the BR. It is really good in a down tier, though. The German one is, of course, the BO105. There is no reason to get this when you have just better versions of the helicopters in game, and this is the problem when you start selling power, when you start selling stuff like the Eurocopters, when you start selling stuff like the Ka-50s. The BO105s just get eaten by them. So the pack or the bundle that I see here, the A1A1L44 is a very good vehicle. Thermals at 8.7, has a lull pen round, very fast. The only thing it struggles with is that it doesn't have the best armor in the world, but it does have quite bouncy armor and does generally eat a lot of rounds. So it's not terrible, it's just not the best. So for me, this is a decent pack just for the L44, and the helicopter, I mean, as I said, it's just outclassed. The British Winter is $55, so the most expensive one. But you know, there's a few others which are also 55, and you get access to the G-Lynx and the Shock Cal Delay. So the G-Lynx is the best helicopter that is in the British tree right now, and it's premium. So once again, paying for power. The Shock Cal Delay though is an 8.3 premium, which I think overall is a pretty good premium. You know, oops, sorry about that. It does have access to APF SDS. It's a Centurion with a little bit of ERA on it. Overall, it's decently survivable. The only main issue, I suppose, with the Shock Cal is that it doesn't really have the same maneuverability that you see from other vehicles. So therefore, it doesn't get around the battlefield as fast, and therefore it can get stuck in a lot of areas. So for me, when it comes to this pack, I think overall the G-Lynx is a good pickup. The only problem with it is that it's going to get outclassed by an Apache that gets added pretty soon in the next year. And then also the Shock Cal Delay is a pretty good one if you don't get up-tiered a lot. Remember, 9.0 is that kind of interesting BR where because it's below the 9.3, 10.3 range, a lot of people are going to play it. So therefore the Shock Cal will get up-tiered into it. It's either that or it'll get down-tiered into 7.7, which it'll do incredibly well in. So it's kind of hoping, you know, whatever the meta is, you can work around it. The Japanese, they get a Type 74 Mod G, which is pretty much the same as the one in the tech tree, not really much difference, apart from slight track differences. And the AH-1S, which is a only helicopter that the Japanese get right now. Once again, $55, so it is $9.90 per vehicle, and the Type 74 Mod G is a really nice 8.7 premium, you know, has access to all the bells and whistles that all the other top tier, you know, premiums have at a lower BL than some of them, such as the XM1 and the OF40. So for me, I think that's a good pickup. And the AH-1S, I mean, we're going to get Japanese helicopters at some point, so therefore you'll be able to use it to grind out a bunch of them. And also, it's not a terrible vehicle. It's actually got a lot going for it in the form of 80 gems. It still isn't as good as a lot of the incredibly powerful helicopters, though, and until they split them apart from the rest of the pack, you're going to get eaten because of the issues with air-to-air missiles and also the issues with just general survivability at range. Good luck against Eurocopter Tigers. So for me, the Type 74 is a great pickup. The H1S is one for the future, which you can use to grind the tech tree out. So it's a pretty good pack, or bundle, sorry. The Italian Winter, you get the Mangusta and also the OF40 Mark II MTCA. What's interesting about this pack though is it's at $52. So this one is slightly cheaper than some of the other ones, such as the Japanese, the British, and the German, and the Soviet one, and I don't really know why, because the, you know, the Mangusta is very similar to, or if not better than some of the helicopters that are on offer, and the OF40 Mark II MTCA is also, I believe it's a 9.0 premium right now. It actually got up-tiered compared to a bunch of the other ones. The MTCA is just a better version of the OF40 Mark II that we have in the tree, and now its BR reflects it, so that's really nice. It still stays out of that 10.3 bracket though, so it's, you know, a really good premium. It's got some nice armor on the turrets, which, you know, will block some rounds, and also a lot of space in the vehicle itself, meaning that, you know, rounds can actually go through it. On top of this as well, it's got good speed, it's got a good stabilizer, it's got really good ammo, it's got pretty much everything you want out of a top tier premium, and the Mangusta is kind of just like a nice little cherry on the top. $8.40 per vehicle in this pack is not terrible. The French Winter one is probably the one which for me is the best value for money. Both of these vehicles are very good for their BR. Of course, you have the EC665 Tiger HAP, and once again 2000 G and 15 days of premium time with it. $55 overall for this French Winter one, so $9.90 per vehicle, and this one is definitely worth it. So Eurocopters are some of the best helicopters in game. They're also some of the most modern, and also they dominate when it comes to helicopter battles in general, and the only real competitor that they have is, well, the Ka-50 when it comes to ground realistic, because the Ka-50 just has a ridiculous amount of firepower that it can dish out. But the Eurocopter Tigers have access to all of the bells and whistles you'll need, thermals, RWRs, tracking, everything, and all of the new systems such as automatic flares and stuff like that are also available for them. So that is that's easily the best helicopter that we have out of these packs. Then the Super AMX-30, a fast AMX-30 with a stabilizer. I have never seen, well, after talking to a lot of people and after discussing it with a ton of people who have the vehicle, they definitely say that the Super AMX-30 is one of the nicest 8.7 premiums to use because of the fact that it has that extra boost that a lot of French vehicles need, to get around the battlefield. That extra little bit of, run around, the acceleration, but the main thing is the stabilizer. And when you couple that with the APF SDS of the AMX-30, it works incredibly well. It also gets access to thermals, because why not? And there is there is kind of a tech tree equivalent in the form of the Brennus, but it isn't, your standard tech tree equivalent. It is slightly different to it. So overall, it's just a really good pickup to use, and also a pretty good backup to other vehicles in the tree that you can build a tech tree around. So that is easily the best pack out of all of these. And then you have the Chinese winter one. It's nice to see China be represented in this December sale. You get the T-62 and the Shenyang F5, which is just a boosted MiG-17. It's $52 overall, so $8.40 per vehicle. And the T-62 at 8.3, I personally really like the vehicle. It does have its shortcomings though, not the best reload, not the best gun depression, but just from a gun point of view, the ammunition choices you get are really nice to use. And also, it's incredibly low profile for a machine. And I know it's not everybody's favorite because of its little weaknesses, as I said, the reload, turret rotation isn't the best, all of these things, but I do think it is a nice little vehicle. You can't also really build a lineup around it yet in China. It's still kind of on an island at its BR, but it's still possible, to use it as a front runner for a lineup where you throw in the two 8.0s with it. The Shenyang F5, the MiG-17, boosted MiG-17, I should say, is a very good pickup. It's a really nice BR in the game, and also, at the same time, it is one of those vehicles that will be able to grind you through the whole of the Chinese tech tree to get to those top tiers, to get to those ones which I know a lot of people want to play, because obviously next year we're going to see a big push into stuff like more supersonic vehicles, and that also includes China, so why not get ahead of the curve and get yourself, the Shenyang for that idea. So for me, when I look at these packs, obviously them being 50% off bundles is very, very good for the general person. I just wish that, it wasn't just for the bundles. I wish, individual packs were 50% off, because most of these, they have a downside. But the ones which are very strong are the USSR Winter one, the French Winter one, and also the Italian winter one, just because of the vehicles that you get in them. I suppose the Japanese one's pretty good as well. Looking at the other stuff that is on offer, so you have the Japanese specific campaign. If you haven't picked this up yet, just do it. And I'm not going to pass words here, but when it comes to the Japanese specific campaign, you get access to the A6M5 Co. This is one of the best vehicles at rank 4 when it comes to premiums. Has a very high research and silver lion percentages on it, and also has access to being rank 4 when it's only 4.7. This means that you can research rank 5 and below at 100% efficiency, even though you're still at 4.7. It's a really nice deal. Most 4.7s are rank 3s, so yeah, it's really nice to have. and really nice to play against a lot of the American teams around 4.7 with their P51s and P47s. I really like it. And then on top of this as well, you know, being $7, you get access to the Japanese Pacific campaign, which is a set of single missions which have cutscenes, which have voice acting, I suppose you'd call it, and they have a bunch of other things attached to them, which is really cool. And see, it's kind of like a cherry on the top, because as you can see from the spreadsheet, the Japanese Pacific campaign is actually positive for your money. What this means is the premium time and the GE that you get out of it is actually more, it costs more than the pack itself. So just by buying this pack, even if you have the A6M5 Co, you are money positive when it comes to the map, when it comes to the pack. So it's a no-brainer to pick up. I wish they also did the US Pacific campaign, maybe next time, but unfortunately only the Japanese one is on offer right now. The Dora pack is on offer again, and I don't want to talk about the Dora again. I'm really bored of the damn thing. The D13, I suppose, it's a good vehicle at 5.3. It should go up in BR. It has really good guns, really good high altitude performance, stalls in really odd and weird ways. It's really cheap. If you want it, pick it up. The Mustang is obviously the P51 that's on offer every time when it comes to these sales. You can see a lot of repetitive vehicles here over this year when it comes to the sales, which is why making these videos is becoming a little bit tiresome when it comes to it, because it would be nice if they just switched it up a bit, you know. The Mustang is money positive, meaning that you get your money back by the GE and the premium time that are available in the pack. Everything else you get for negative money, if you want to see it like that, so therefore it's a good pickup. The P47M1RE is a really good multi-role machine in ground realistic and air realistic. Pick it up if you want the best P47 in the game. The King Tiger, past its best, don't bother. T29 is a meta vehicle at 6.7, incredibly powerful and very good for these events. And great survivability, great gun, decent speed for a heavy tank. I would definitely say give it a go. Wyvern, pick it up if you want to grind out the British air tech tree. Really easy to use. It's a turn your brain off vehicle, take into simulator, realistic or arcade, and just hit ground targets, and you'll eventually make a ton of silver lines and a ton of RP to whatever you want to. Then we have the Centurion pack. The Centurion pack is the SDR V81, which is of course the Swedish vehicle, which is going to be, which is just a Centurion Mark III with access to 3 SS11s on it, and hopefully, it's fun for a lot of people. It is a little bit pricey in my opinion at $11.39, but I suppose if it's between this and the Centurion Action X, get this, because it gives you, a little bit more when it comes to your playstyle. You can actually use the missiles and have a bit of fun with it. The IS-6 is a beast which is past its prime because of the additions to the game that it has to endure. It also had an armor change which really crippled it, and also it's got a BR increase, so I don't think it's good enough anymore to be able to pick up, even though it is a vehicle that I will never use because of how it was back in the day. And then you got the Type 5 Ho-Ri. It's a vehicle that can't really depend on its armor. Its gun is incredibly powerful though, and at the price that it is at $17, I would actually say give it a go if you want to, if you want to grind out Japan and don't have enough money for the Type 74G pack. The Z20 Carl Golster, I mean, you could buy this for $25, or you could work 2 more hours at any job and pick up the Prince Eugen instead. Well done for power creeping your own premiums out of the game. So yeah, that is pretty much the sales for this this Christmas period. If there's anything for the Xbox guys or the PlayStation guys, I'll have a look, but for right now I need to get back into bed because I feel absolutely awful, and yeah, you can tell that I'm disappointed by this. It's kind of sad to see the same things over and over and over again, and hoping to, hoping for people, to play and buy stuff. It's if you've ever seen, there's a film called Mean Girls, and there was this thing called Fetch, right? And one of the girls eventually just blows up at this one of her friends because she's like, "Stop making Fetch a thing. It's never gonna become a thing." That's how I feel like That's how I feel like with helicopters in War Thunder. Like, you know, they're constantly trying to push helicopters with these packs to get people to play them, and it's like, stop trying to make them a thing. You know, people are generally not enjoying them. If anything, they are despised. So anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Ambrosius McClellan, B. Young, Blackie, Daniel Stanton, Jay Wilt, John Ryman, Joseph Anders, Martinez, Moxie, Super Cacti, Uyans Terry, Elove Goat, and Seductive Trash Can for supporting the channel.